Hello everyone and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm going over the games that I played for the very first time in the month of February. I'm going to be giving some mini first impressions reviews as I go along. I had 28 plays over 8 different games in the month of February. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the one that I played the most and work my way down to the ones I played the least. Keep in mind that especially those that I played once or twice, these are definitely first impressions reviews. Things may change as I get to play them more often. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the one that I played the most, and that is Sagrada Artisans. And we played this 13 times in the month of February, played through the entire Legacy campaign, and we also played a few one-off games as well. And so I'm giving this game an 8.5 out of 10. I do have a full review that you can check out at the end of this video. I encourage you to do that. So I'm going to only go over very briefly what this game is about and what I think about it so that you can check out that full review. And so in this game you are drafting dice, and then you're going to be using them for the color and the number to fill in a place in a window, and you're going to be coloring that in. And you are not allowed to put ones that are the same color or value next to one another. And you've got different tools that are going to help you to change things up a bit, to give you some mitigation of the dice rolls there. It's a very fun game. You've got this puzzle of trying to figure out where you can put things and how you can change things up to be able to place them, as well as you're trying to score bonus points for getting certain conditions met. And so it's a really enjoy the game. I think it's a step up from the original Sagrada. And so I highly recommend checking this one out and checking that review out at the end of this video. So the next game on my list is Arctic Roll, which I played 5 times in the month of February. It is on Kickstarter right now, and it is a print and play roll and write game. So if you enjoy those print and play roll and writes, I encourage you to check this out. I'll leave the link to the Kickstarter in the description down below. And basically in this game you are going to be rolling dice, and then you're choosing one of the dice is associated with a bonus, and then you have another dice as well, and you are going to be using one for movement and one for the bonus there. And you're going to be trying to score points by having hunters down around these different holes that you place out as well. And you're also going to be placing next to open waters that you're going to be able to get fish from for points. You're scoring points for getting shells and all kinds of different ways that you're going to score points. And you're getting bonuses as you travel along the route. And so I encourage you to check out my playthrough. It gives a much more in-depth way of how the game plays. But it's fun. You got different combos that are going to come along as you unlock different bonuses. And so I encourage you to check that out. Link in the description for the Kickstarter, and at the end of this video, that playthrough. The next game on my list is Wyrmspan. And this is a successor to Wyrmspan. It's from Stonemaier Games, and I played it 4 times in the month of February, and I'm rating it a 10 out of 10. As a big fan of Wyrmspan, I already knew I was going to enjoy the basic mechanics of this game, and it adds to those mechanics quite a bit, changes things up, and makes things a little bit more complex, while still having somewhat of the same feel because of that same base foundation there. In this game, you are also going to have variable amount of turns compared to Wyrmspan, where you have a set amount of turns. And you're going to start out each round with 6 turns, but you can get more turns by excavating certain caves and other actions that are going to give you an extra coin. And so you can have rounds that you may have 10, 12, or more actions because you kept getting more and more actions as you were going. And you have some very basic kind of things that you are doing, just like in Wyrmspan. You can excavate a cave is a new thing that they've added in this game, where in order to play dragons, you have to first excavate that cave. You start out with your first column already excavated for the first of each of those rows. And then after that, you excavate the cave, and then you can entice dragons by paying the food that is on them. And then you, just like in Wyrmspan, have the ability to activate those different powers that some of them have on them. Except for in this one, you're going left to right instead of right to left. And there's also some different things that you're going to unlock as you go, as you put more dragons down that are on the board as well. And so you'll be hopping from one location to the next for that. I just really enjoy this game. I think it's a step up from Wyrmspan as far as strategy goes. I still haven't decided which one I like more yet, Wyrmspan or Wyrmspan. They're very close. They have different feels. Wyrmspan's a bit of a lighter game than this one, and so I just enjoy both of what they have to offer. Of course, Wyrmspan has a lot more content right now because of all the expansions. I don't know if they're going to come out with any expansions for Wyrmspan, but if they do, I think that will also kind of elevate it a little bit there. Just really enjoy Wyrmspan. I hope to do a solo playthrough soon, and so be looking forward to that. Next one on my list is Star Wars, the deck building game. And we played this 2 times in the month of February, and I'm giving a 7.5 out of 10. This is a head-to-head deck building game where one of you is playing as the Rebels and the other is playing as the Empire, and you have this row of cards that you can purchase from, but there are certain ones that are for the Rebels only. But then the Empire can go ahead and destroy one of the Rebels to keep the Rebels from getting that, as well as getting a bonus for doing that as well, a benefit for doing that. And same thing for the Empire. They have certain ones in the row that are only for them, and then the Rebels can take care of those by knocking them out as well and getting a bonus. And there's some that are neutral that either one can recruit. And so you've got a bit of this head-to-head going on and you're trying to decide whether you want to attack the ones in the row or buy ones in the row for yourself. And you're also basically trying to destroy 3 of the other person's bases before they destroy 3 of your bases. And there's different bases that you can choose from. You start out with a very basic one, and then you can choose what's the next base that comes in. And they have different amount of attack it's going to take to destroy those bases, as well as a different power that base is going to be able to utilize. And some of the ones that have the stronger powers are going to have less hit points, and vice versa. And so you have to try and decide which one that you want to bring out, and which one's going to be the best in the moment to do. Very fun game. Like I said, I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Enjoyed it very much in our couple of playthroughs. I played once as the Alliance, the Rebels, as well as once as the Empire. A lot of fun there. And so that is Star Wars, the deck building game. The next one on my list is Horrified. We played this once in the month of February and once again at the beginning of March. And so I got to play against all of the different monsters. And this is a successor to, of course, the original Horrified, which had the Universal monsters as well as American monsters. I'm not sure yet which one I prefer, whether I prefer the Greek monsters or the original Universal monsters. Wasn't as thrilled with the American ones. Anyway, I like the theme of this one, the Greek monsters. The board is a little bit harder to get around, as there are certain areas that you kind of dead end more in this one where you head up a different direction, have to come all the way back to the middle. The game itself is a pick up and deliver game where you are going around grabbing these different icons off the board that you're going to then take to either the monster's lair or the monster itself, and you're going to try to use those things to solve different puzzles to then eventually be able to defeat that monster. And there's different monsters that you can play with, and there's different amounts of monsters depending on how difficult you want to play. If you want a rather easy game, you can go in against 2 monsters. If you want a medium kind of game, 3 monsters. You want a hard game, you go in with 4 monsters. And you are going to have to try and defeat all of them before you run out of cards in this event deck that's going on. The event deck is also going to put out some legendary characters that you have to help escort to their location that they want to be at. And if the monsters ever wind up on the location with those people and they roll a hit, then that person is going to die, and then the horror is going to go up 1. If you ever get to the top of this horror track, you automatically lose the game as well. Also, if you get attacked and you are unable to spend the amount of tokens that you need to keep from taking all the damage, you spend 1 per damage that is rolled, then you will also be knocked out, and you'll get to respawn, but you'll also raise that horror level if you do that. You can also choose not to discard tokens and take that punishment as well if you'd rather hold on to the tokens. And so you've got quite a bit of things that you're focusing on as you're trying to go around and get these things. You're trying to save legendary characters that are going to give you a perk when you do that, but also you're keeping them from getting killed and raising that horror. So there's a lot going on in these Horrified games. I enjoy the puzzle of the Greek monsters. I think I may have enjoyed the puzzles a little bit more for the Universal ones, but I like the theme of the Greek monsters a little bit more, and so they're kind of fighting against one another from those 2 different perspectives. But Horrified, the Greek Monsters Edition, I've enjoyed playing it for the couple of playthroughs that I had. And, of course, you also have characters that have different abilities. I got to try out 2 of those, and I want to try out some of the more abilities as well. So that's Horrified, Greek Monsters. The next one I played is Pirates of Maracaibo, and I played that 1 time in the month of February, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed what this game has to offer. You got this bunch of cards that are getting dealt out into this grid that you are then crossing, and you can move up to 3 spaces, and then you stop on whichever one you want to stop on and take that bonus. And then you're trying to make it across, and there's a bit of a push and pull of how much are you going to stop along the way and get all these different benefits and buy up different cards. and how much you're going to try and beat others to the end so you can get the benefit of getting there first, and also then everybody comes back to the beginning after that, and you start all over again, going through 3 rounds of that. And then at the end of the game, of course, whoever has the most points wins type of deal. I just really enjoy all the different paths to victory that you can find in this game, what you're going to focus on to be able to do that, and just the different variability as the cards are going to come up different every time, and as you buy cards, new cards are going to be coming in, so things are going to be changing up in the middle of the game as well. Just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my playthrough of this game. You're also unlocking different bonuses on your board. There's just so much going on with this game. One playthrough isn't enough to really fully appreciate all of that, but I enjoyed it so much I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It may even go up as I get to play it more and get a better feel for the game. I highly doubt it's going to go down. I just really enjoyed it so much. But starting out at an 8 out of 10 right now is my current feel for it. The next one I want to talk about is the Fox Experiment. Also played once in the month of February, and this is a game by Elizabeth Hargrave, who made Wyrmspan. And so that alone already kind of intrigued me about this game. And but the theme itself didn't really pull me in, and so for a while I hesitated on getting this game. It's a good game. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's not one of the best games I played this month, but I did enjoy it. And basically in this game you are breeding foxes to try and get ones that are more friendly and meet certain requirements as well along the way, as you are filling out these different bonus cards to get points. You also have bonuses that you're going to be unlocking on this board in front of you, including points as you kind of get deeper down on that track. You are basically going to try and get these traits rolled that you're going to be able to then add on to the card, which then is going to go back into the market for you or other players to buy next round. And so as you're making these foxes better, you're also potentially giving better foxes to your opponents if they get there before you. But there's also this first player track where if you go to a certain place on there, you're going to get first player automatically, but you won't get any bonuses. Or if you go a little bit further down on the track, you may still get first player if nobody goes to that first place, and you'll get a bonus. Or somebody may beat you to the first player, and they'll get first choice of what action is going to happen in the next round. And so there's a bit of push and pull, whether you go first of all after a fox or going after the bonuses or first player for the next round, first thing. And then also, which foxes are you going to be going after to try and fill out your bonuses and do a good job there of scoring points. There's a lot of different strategies that are involved in this game. I haven't covered everything, but I enjoyed the playthrough. It's not my favorite game, but definitely one I want to play again. So the Fox Experiment, a 7 out of 10 for that game. And the last one on my list is Distilled. It's not really a theme that I really enjoy. It's not a theme that pulls me in. I give it a 7 out of 10. It did have some fun mechanics to it. There's a bit of a push and pull type thing as you are getting ingredients to make your drink, where you have to discard 2 random ones, one from the top of the deck and one from the bottom of the ingredients you chose to put in for that round. And if you happen to discard the very ingredient that you need to make a certain thing that you're trying to make, then you won't be able to make that. You have to make something worth a lot less victory points. And so do you go in with just 2 of that special ingredient that you need, or do you put a third one in there in case one comes out, or do you put 4 in there in case 2 of the ingredients that you really need come out of that deck? And so there's a little bit of a push and pull there, and you are buying up cards from a market, competing with others as far as who's going to get there first. You've got different experts that you're going to kind of bring in, or equipment that are going to help you, give you a bonus as well as points at the end of the game. Quite a bit of different things going on in this game. I did enjoy my playthrough, but I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10. The theme is probably a big part of what doesn't pull me into this game as much and has lowered my rating a decent bit there, but it was enjoyable mechanically to play. And so these are the games that I played for the first time in the month of February. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's given you something to think about these games, as well as I hope you'll check out either my review of Sagrada Artisans or my playthrough of Arctic Roll. As always, hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to see more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.